of those like I once wanted to, and never actually pursued it. So I come from Limpopo. I grew up there, but apparently I was born in Soweto. And I was also born screened, guys. No? Can you believe it? Yeah, tell them I was born screened. Like my eyes were like.
Yeah.
And then
my mom took me for an operation. Then they fixed it. Yeah, she was
Very smart.
She took advice. Go isenke tato ya mudimu. But mudimu has placed people to correct that.
I'm also spoiled. I use only half of an eye in my life.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. But I went to birth many times, so they felt like then we just accepted.
Oh, do you think maybe you went when you were a bit older?
No, I went at the early age. They said I'm too young, and then I came back, and they said I'm too old. I was like, fuck, I'm done.
I was lucky then. Because I went when I was 6.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just a once-off operation and it was done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lucky you guys.
But you still look beautiful, so I can't even see. I can't even see.
You can only see it in the sun. Inside you won't see it.
So, I grew up not knowing what wine is, for starters, and I also didn't really have an idea of what I wanted to do as a career, as a career path or whatever. I think a lot of us are like that because you consider where we come from. I mean, the schools we go to, our background, we don't have the privilege to even understand our own interests, our own skills, and even other possible career opportunities out there. A lot of us, we thought we wanted to be doctors because everybody expected us to be doctors. A doctor, a nurse, a teacher, a policeman, and stuff like that. So luckily, I got admitted to study biotechnology at CPUT, and that's where everything started for me. I mean, first year went by, and it was normal mainstream science and everything. And when we went to our second semester, we started to major in fermentation and microbiology. So we got to, with our fermentation and microbiology, both of them, we were focused a lot on winemaking and mostly the science behind winemaking. And then that's when I learned about wine, and I thought, this is interesting. I mean, imagine. Can you imagine? Like, learning. Can you imagine? And this was 2012, and I remember saying to my friend that, you know what, maybe I could actually have a winery back at home once I'm done studying. Make my own wine and actually, make this something like that I can have as a career. And this was 2012. And when we finished with our studies, I had a one-on-one session with one of our lecturers that was actually outsourced to come and assist us to place us in different industries. Because biotechnology is broad, and which makes it difficult for a lot of graduates to even decide where they want to go. I was just lucky. You get it in pharmaceuticals, you get it in food, beverages, and agriculture. So it's just like a bit of everything. So it can be really tricky for anyone to even major or decide what is it that you want to focus on. So this guy, Dr. Alex, he was a Nigerian guy. So he says to me, you know what, I actually have a friend of mine that owns a winery in Stellenbosch. Let me speak to him and see if he can take you in. Dr. Alex indeed phones this guy, and then this guy says he can take me in and he can take 2 other students with me. So that's how I got into the industry. And I swear, if it wasn't for that opportunity, I wouldn't have even went any further. I would have just ended up being a frustrated biotechnologist graduate. I swear, And yeah, so that's when we did the internship. That's one of the ladies I did the internship with, and that was at Waterstone Wine. So they were like a very small premium winery. So they practically produced all their wines here, and they exported all their wines to across Africa and Asia. But I see now they're trying to sell locally because of this online e-commerce stuff. But most of their wines, they exported them. So I spent a year there and I learned a lot, everything from the vineyards up until the bottle of wine is ready to go into the market. But I must be honest that very same year, as much as it was exciting and insightful for me, because I also felt like I was living a dream. I mean, can you imagine thinking about something and actually having it happen? What are the odds? And in Stellenbosch, we were practically the only black people in that company. And mostly within, Stellenbosch is very white, especially in the wine sector. It's few black people, a few colors and stuff like that. I remember, even though in the beginning I had this, clear vision of what I wanted to do or what I thought I wanted to do, I remember feeling very demotivated by everything, overwhelmed and very fearful, man, more than anything, felt like you can't do this, because you think about the vineyards, in Stellenbosch, all the vineyards, slopes and everything, and you think about the equipments that the people have. You think about their history, their heritage. People talk about being in business for 300 years, 100 years, and where do you even begin, And I thought to myself, where would I even get the money for all this? I wasn't even getting paid for my internship. I was taking a train every day to work, broke, haven't even had my first salary yet. So how will I even get to where these people are, And it just felt like it's not going to happen, And I also thought, at this point, I've never seen black people producing wine. So even if you go into the market, who's going to buy wines, in comparison to something that people know, they've been drinking for many, many years, all that. And I thought, it hasn't going to happen. I swear, man, I told myself it's not going to happen at that point. And I even went to an extent of going and registering for a different course to study forensics. So I thought, this is not going to work, because with this, I saw wine. But then if wine is not going to work, maybe I should, pursue something different. But this also opened more opportunities for me, because I got an opportunity to work for Distal, which is one of the biggest wine and spirit producers across Africa. And I spent about 5 years there, which was also insightful. I learned a lot. And I was working in the quality department, so which was great, because what it did is it just integrated all my experiences and everything. Now I have an idea of what happens with the production. Now it's quality, and being in the industry also allowed me to continue to learn a lot. I still learn, I still study. I'm still registered with Cape Wine Academy, pursuing my diploma in wine. I'm just left with the tasting exam, then I'll be graduating for that. And in between, I work with a lot of wine farms, doing what Wendy is doing now. Not because I wanted the money, but because I wanted to just learn about how to talk about wine and how to engage with people about wine, understanding consumers and just getting into the habit of talking about wine, which was great. They paid me and I loved it. And this other day, so now it's 2017, and I was sleeping, man. I'm still in doubt today, this is not gonna happen and everything. I woke up and I had this strong feeling, I can't explain it, but that's what I felt like. And I remember feeling but then if when you know that this is what you want to do, but you're so afraid, yet this is what you want to do. Yes. And I thought to myself, you are afraid to do what you're passionate about, what you love doing. At that point, I was willing to do, my sister knows, I was willing to do this for anyone for free. That's how passionate I was about it. I was taking any course that has wine in it, that's how passionate I was. I was almost about to sell wine for people that was trash. Remember, they almost made me buy a whole pallet, and that was just bad wine, and I was going to do it because I just love it, And I thought to myself, no, this is the time for me to do this. If I'm so afraid to follow my passion, why am I even alive? Can you imagine? Can you really imagine knowing that this is who you are, this is what you want to do, but yet you're not following that path? You're like, okay, instead I'll just go there, because I guess it's easier that way. It takes away so much from you, because you feel like why are you even here? Why don't you just die? Because what's your purpose? And then I woke up and I told my sister, I don't even know if she still remembers, and I told her, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and start my own wine business. She wasn't surprised because she already knew it's something I've always wanted to do. And luckily for me, guys, when I got to work on Monday, so we got emails that everybody doesn't have a job anymore. So, so we were all retrenched. And we were all supposed to reapply for our positions. I was never so excited about getting a job. You know, and I'm like, oh my God, God, is that you? Like I get to work, everybody's so stressed. Oh, sweetness, what are you gonna apply for? I'm like, I'm not applying for anything. They're like, why? I'm like, I'm going to start my own wine business. And at the time, I'm sure they didn't even understand what I meant. Like, what do you even mean you're going to start your own wine business? You know? And indeed, I did that. So I mean, everything that I got from my retrenchment, everything. I mean, I love wine, I love dresses, I love hanging out with friends, but I never used any of that money I got for any of those things that I enjoyed doing. Everything went into, you know, starting the business, producing the first batch. And yeah, I mean, that was then I had the 2017 vintage, which was that purple bottle. It didn't look like that, but it's the first wine I produced, and it also later on won a gold medal for Women in Wine and Spirit Awards. And I mean, that's the bottle I started with, and then later on introduced others, and now we have 10, and now I'm busy with the 11th one. So within the range, 5 of them also won awards. And it's been an amazing journey. There are a lot of learnings that I had to learn, you know, especially when it comes to the business side. I'm just a scientist, I don't know anything about money, and unfortunately sometimes you get banned. I got banned, I learned, but I'm just grateful that with, you know, the mistakes that I made, the hardships of running such a business on your own, you know, in a market that is so saturated, you know, you can still manage to survive, because this is not my bread and butter. Like, I don't have any other job other than what I'm doing. But I'm so grateful that, you know, there's been so much growth. I mean, even the space where we are today, it's part of the growth that Siwela Wines had or has experienced. I don't know how to use that, which way to use, you know. And this is a concept I've always had, to basically have, you know, an urban winery. In a few years, I hope when you come visit again, you will get the actual feel of being in an actual winery, have the whole production happening in the background, and that's the concept of the urban winery. That's what I envision for this, you know, for Siwela Wines / urban winery. And to just, you know, bring wine closer to people, have people experience the brand, people experience our wines, people experience the wine lifestyle, you know. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope, yeah, you have a fantastic
Grace.
Yeah, oh no, she's saying I forgot to tell you guys about Grace. Grace, the Grace is that black bottle. So after these few years of me chasing my passion and doing what I've been doing, I realized that, you know, I wouldn't have done all that if it wasn't for my mom. So my mom, who was very, very strict when we were growing up, is now the biggest consumer of this wine. She didn't even like alcohol, for goodness sake. You have no idea, guys, like my mom is now an alcoholic. Can you imagine that woman? And she'd be like, okay guys, little do in a little alcohol now. But I'm just like, okay ma, you know what, it does have alcohol, but you have to drink it because it's good for your health, you know. So my mom, this is my sister, and then we have a late brother that passed on. My mom raised 3 of us by herself, and never in our lives have we ever experienced that or felt that we were raised by a single parent. My mom has always told us about the hardships that she went through. I mean, even how she gave me the name Siwela. She explains that I fell into her difficult situation at the time, which include her being, you know, almost like a hobo, feeding from the dustbins in Soweto, to an extent whereby she well, she then decided later on that she wanted to pursue her career as a teacher or study further so that she can turn things around. And she would walk barefoot when it's raining to school. She was studying via a bursary, I think, at the time. And that's part of, her story, her challenges, and her background. And eventually she pulled through. But I think it's just really amazing that, for somebody who started her career late in her, in her times, like after my 30 year, 30, after 30, she was still able to give us the life that we had. Me and my sister were able to pursue our dreams, pursue our passions, and even go study as further as Cape Town. She studied in Eastern Cape. We all have the opportunity to follow our passion, follow our career, create lives for ourselves. And that because of just one woman. Like, I don't even understand how she does that. I could never be that mom. I could never be that mom, And everything she does, like, we get everything, and she never puts herself first. It has always been us. And even when I came forth and I'm like, Ma, I think when I finish studying, I want to have a winery here back at home. She went on with that dream as if it was her own. Like, even when I went back, I got discouraged and everything, she remained with the hope that this will one day happen. She was the one who was like, are you not applying for funding, wara wara? And then she calls me, she's like, so I spoke to, the chief there, for this winery of yours. So she carried this dream as if it was her own. And she continued to support me. A lot of parents, especially our black parents, if you think about it, they wouldn't encourage you to go into a business like this. First of all, it's like, and secondly, one would be like, why would you want to leave a permanent role that's, paying you so nicely and go start a business that you don't even know if it's going to work or not? And my mom has been that supportive to me. Recently she sent me 10,000 and said, invest it into your business. This is money that she herself doesn't even have. It's money that she could use for other things in her own life, but she chose to leave the dream and invest. I guess if she had $1 million, she was gonna invest $1 million in the brand. So that's why I created the wine for her, and I just decided, I think it's about time I say thank you and just acknowledge her efforts and just to show her, like, I've been watching you, Mom. So so that's the story of Yaya Grace. And we're also launching another second wine within the Grace range, a Chardonnay, which will be out soon. But
Yes!
Grace, and Grace, guys.
Why Grace? I would love to know why Grace.
Grace is her name.
Oh, it's your mom's name. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, but it's our and it also won an award recently.
Wow.
Yes, and it's our premium wine. So it is a blend, and it's our premium wine. So it also spent about 18 months in French oak barrels. So what we do is, if you get it into these barrels like this and you mature it, it helps it to soften up and just to create this elegant taste and more like exciting aromas around it. So I'm really looking forward to growing the whole range at Gracie, and introducing the Chardonnay also. I hope it's gonna be, I hope we will receive the same love as this one.
Already it's a seller. You can just see that one.